You wake up tired, not because you didn't sleep, but because even in sleep, your mind didn't stop. It was busy solving, planning, fixing, busy imagining the worst, rehearsing conversations, trying to make life go exactly as you think it should. You've done everything right. You've read the books, made the vision boards, set the goals. You've visualized, manifested, strategized, and yet, life still doesn't move the way you want.
That hurts. It makes you question yourself. You wonder, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? Should I try harder? But maybe that's not the problem. Maybe the real shift happens when you stop forcing life to happen and start letting it unfold. It's a strange thing to say, right? It sounds like giving up, but it's not. It's a shift from control to clarity. It's a move from gripping life with a clenched fist to holding it with an open hand. There's a quiet kind of power in surrender, not the kind that gives up, but the kind that trusts. Because when you're constantly forcing, you're living in fear. Fear that if you stop pushing, everything will fall apart. That if you don't force a relationship to work, it'll slip away. That if you don't force a career path, you'll fall behind. That if you don't force yourself to be perfect, you'll be unworthy. But have you ever stopped and asked, where did that fear come from? Most of us were raised to believe that life only rewards effort, that success comes from hard work, hustle, and control. That things don't just happen, you have to make them happen. And sure, effort matters, showing up matters, but so does timing, so does readiness, so does alignment. Have you ever noticed how sometimes the things you tried hardest to chase ran the fastest, but the moments when you let go, not because you didn't care, but because you were done chasing, that's when life surprised you. That's when the call came. That's when the person texted. That's when the idea hit you in the shower. That's when things just clicked. Because when you stop forcing, you become available, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. You create space. And in that space, life breathes. There's this quote often attributed to Alan Watts. He said something like, "Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. When we force, we stir the water. We create more noise, more confusion, more pressure. But when we pause, things settle. And in that stillness, clarity rises." Think about relationships. You meet someone, you like them, you start imagining a future, and suddenly, every interaction becomes a test. You overthink every text. You analyze every word. You try to steer the connection, sculpt it, guide it, and in doing so, you kill it. Because people don't thrive under control, they thrive in presence. The same is true for career. You chase a path because it looks good on paper, because it makes sense, because others expect it. You force yourself to love it. You grind. You fake the enthusiasm. You keep saying, just a little longer. But inside, something feels off. And the moment you stop pretending, the moment you stop forcing yourself to want it, a strange kind of freedom shows up. It's scary, yes, but it's also real. Letting go doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the right thing at the right time and knowing the difference. It means acting from intuition, not panic, from alignment, not ego, from love, not fear. And that's not easy. Because your brain has been trained to believe that safety comes from control, that if you can just get a grip on everything, your future, your feelings, other people, then you'll be okay. But control is an illusion. Things can change in an instant. People leave. Plans fall apart. The body breaks down. Life moves in ways you never expected, and no amount of forcing can stop it. But you know what does help? Trust. Not blind optimism. Not toxic positivity. but real grounded trust. The kind that says, I will do my part, I will show up, but I won't strangle life with my expectations. I will make room for mystery. And mystery is where magic lives. When you look back at the most meaningful things in your life, the deep friendships, the unexpected career turns, the moments that shaped you, how many of them were planned? How many were forced? Probably none. They came when you were open, when you were honest, when you let life meet you halfway. That's the thing. Life isn't something you conquer. It's something you partner with. And sometimes the partnership means letting go of timelines, letting go of how you think things should be, letting go of needing every answer. Because peace isn't found in perfect control. It's found in deep acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means presence. It means choosing to meet life as it is, not how you wish it was. And from that place, change becomes possible. Not the frantic kind, but the real kind. The kind that lasts. The kind that feels like home. There's a quiet revolution that happens when you stop trying so hard to be okay. You start to realize, maybe you already are. You start to feel moments again. Little things. The way the sun hits your skin. The way laughter sneaks up on you. The way your breath feels in your chest. You begin to trust silence. You stop needing constant answers. You stop demanding that life explain itself. And that's when you truly begin to live. Most people don't realize how much of their suffering comes not from what's happening, but from their resistance to it, from the story that says, this shouldn't be happening. But what if it should? What if this is exactly what needed to break, so something better could rise? What if the delay is part of the preparation? What if the letting go is the unlocking? We think surrender is weakness, but it's strength. It takes strength to loosen the grip, to walk away, to stop begging, to stop pretending. It takes strength to say, I trust what I can't yet see. Carl Jung once said, what you resist persists. And it's true. The more you push, the more stuck things feel. But when you drop the rope, the tension eases, the energy softens, and suddenly, you're not fighting the current anymore. You're floating. You're watching. You're responding, not reacting. And that's where power really lives. Not in forcing outcomes, but in knowing when to act and when to allow, when to move and when to wait, when to speak and when to listen. That's wisdom. And wisdom isn't loud. It doesn't scream or demand. It whispers. You hear it when you're quiet enough to listen. But to hear it, you have to stop drowning it out with control. You have to create space. That's what stopping the force really is. It's making space. Space for healing. Space for clarity. Space for something new to arrive. So if you're tired, not just physically, but soul tired, maybe it's not because you're broken. Maybe it's because you've been forcing things that were never meant to be forced. Maybe it's because you're trying to bloom in the wrong season. Maybe you're asking for answers while life is asking you to wait, to breathe, to trust, to rest. There's nothing lazy about rest. There's nothing passive about surrender. They are actions, sacred ones. They say, I'm no longer at war with this moment. And when you stop being at war with the moment, you stop being at war with yourself. You begin to treat yourself with kindness again. You forgive the version of you who didn't know better. You stop demanding perfection from someone who is still learning how to be human. And you learn to sit with discomfort without trying to escape it. That's letting go, not abandoning, not quitting, but softening, opening, allowing. When you stop forcing, something inside you exhales. And in that exhale comes the clarity you've been searching for. It might not come with fireworks. It might not change your life overnight. but it starts a shift, a quiet one, a steady one. You begin to see the difference between effort and strain, between intention and control, between discipline and desperation, and you begin to choose differently. You start to act from wholeness, not emptiness. You start to move from trust, not panic. You start to say no, not from fear, but from clarity. And that changes everything, because the world around you responds to your energy. When you stop forcing, people feel it. Your presence softens, your eyes calm, your energy becomes magnetic. Not because you're trying, but because you're not. That's the irony. The less you push, the more things flow. The less you grip, the more comes to you. Not everything, not instantly, but enough. Enough to keep going, enough to keep trusting, enough to feel peace again. So if you're in a season where nothing seems to be working, where the harder you try, the worse it feels, where all your plans feel heavy, stuck, off track, maybe it's not about trying harder. Maybe it's about trying softer. Maybe the life you're trying to force isn't the one meant for you. Maybe something better is waiting, and it just needs space to arrive.